We are at Fiesta Island, and if you take a look right here behind me, you can see this is a very busy spot right now. The parking lot outside the gate leading to Fiesta Island is packed. There's a lot of traffic in and out of this area. Before it started raining, there were cars lined up and down Mission Bay Drive. So they are still allowing people into Fiesta Island on foot. For a while here, they did have that gate closed, so they weren't allowing vehicles. A short time ago, they reopened that gate, so we're not quite sure exactly what happened there, but someone with the city was telling me it's possible this whole area right here, the parking lot, could be shut down overnight. We're still waiting to hear back about that. So the city, of course, saying that they're doing this in an effort to cut down on people gathering in large groups. Here's the announcement by lifeguards earlier.
Attention on the beach and in the water. San Diego lifeguards and San Diego Police Department are currently trying to close the parking lots.
And so we have some video of lifeguards and police shutting down parking lots at Mission Bay, also in Ocean Beach. Officers were out there putting up barricades, again, in an effort to discourage people from gathering in large groups. So beaches, that includes Ocean Beach, Mission Beach, La Jolla Shores, Fiesta Island, those parking lots will be closed. They did have officers at Fiesta Island talking to drivers out here earlier. Now, the city says you can still take a walk, you can still exercise outside, but they're asking people to really practice social distancing, keeping 6 feet between yourself and the next person. They say this is necessary to keep people safe and to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Now, the county also addressed this issue at a news conference this afternoon. Take a listen.
Please, I implore you to not gather with any non-household groups. Please adhere to the 6 feet social distancing rule when you are in areas with non-household members. Per the governor's order, not following the order is a misdemeanor subject to a $1,000 fine.
And another live look out here at Fiesta Island, the parking lot outside the gate to Fiesta Island. Now, I did check with San Diego Police earlier. They tell me so far they have not issued any citations, but they do confirm to me that it is a misdemeanor not to comply with the governor's orders, and it is subject to a $1,000 fine. But for now, let's check in with my colleague Monique Griego, who is in Carlsbad with the very latest on what's happening up there. Monique?
Yeah, and just like Kelly said, all throughout the day we were driving around this area, and these beaches and the parks were packed with people, despite the fact that the city of Carlsbad put out a warning yesterday saying they wanted to close many of the parks. People were still out and about, so right now the city is just trying to get people to heed these warnings, listen to what they're telling them, do that 6 foot distance, and just take care of themselves and really help stop the spread of this virus for now. All throughout the city of Carlsbad, Sunday afternoon, all of its beautiful beaches were packed with people. That was also true of its parks, despite a warning from the city that certain areas would be closed in light of the ongoing coronavirus outbreak.
Not all of our parks, but the tennis courts, the playgrounds, sports fields, any place people could actually gather just to further encourage the social distancing.
Christina Ray is the Communications and Engagement Director for the city of Carlsbad. Yesterday, the city posted this message on its Facebook page, letting people know about the new restrictions.
People in Carlsbad love to go outside just like everyone in San Diego, and so we just felt like we needed a little bit more guidance and to help people avoid gathering in groups and also keeping that 6 foot separation.
Elsewhere on Coles Mountain, News 8 found the same scene, trails packed with people. Many said it was busier than they typically see it, likely due to so many people working from home. And while signage posted at Lake Murray showed it is technically closed, that didn't stop people from parking along the side streets and heading inside. City leaders know it may continue to be difficult to enforce these new closures, but are asking people to stay safe and heed the warnings.
Obvious that not everyone has gotten the message, or if they have, they just don't understand how important it is. And so that's why we're asking everyone to share the information with people they know.
And unlike the city of San Diego, so far we haven't heard from Carlsbad that they're closing any of their beaches. I think that's why there was a lot of people here today, but they said parks, obviously basketball courts, but still something that's very, very hard to enforce. That's why they're asking people to just take precautions. Alicia, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Monique, thank you. Republican Senator Rand Paul has just tested positive for coronavirus. His chief of staff says he is feeling well. He is in quarantine. The senator is one of about 32,000 cases nationwide. His test results come as fellow lawmakers try to hammer out an economic rescue package for Americans. Nancy Chen is in New York with the latest.
Lawmakers race to reach bipartisan agreement on a $1 trillion stimulus package to soften the economic blow of the coronavirus crisis. Congressional leaders and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin met as they tried to break the stalemate between Democrats and Republicans.
We need to get the money into the economy now. If we do that, we think we can stabilize the economy.
Democrats have expressed concern the stimulus bill does not go far enough in restricting companies from using money to buy back their own stock or from laying off employees. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Democrats in her chamber are drafting their own proposal.
We'll be introducing our own bill, and hopefully it'll be compatible with what they discuss in the Senate.
As the federal and state battle against the coronavirus ramps up, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says Washington needs to get even more involved.
The federal government should nationalize medical supply acquisition. The states simply cannot manage it.
On CBS's Face the Nation, Dr. Anthony Fauci, a key member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, said more challenges are ahead.
We're going to get hit. There's no doubt about it. This physical separation at the same time as we're preventing an influx of cases coming in, I think that's going to go a long way to preventing us from becoming an Italy.
Officials say testing and isolating those who are infected is crucial. The Food and Drug Administration has made some headway, announcing approval of a new diagnostic test shipping out before the end of the month that provides results in hours rather than days. Nancy Chen, CBS News.
And grocery stores are putting in new measures to encourage social distancing and to prevent all that hoarding we've seen. Supply chains still haven't caught up with all the recent demand. News 8's Brandon Lewis live in Claremont with how some retailers are now handling things. A lot of changes out there, Brandon.
Yeah, Steve, there are a lot of changes in place. If you go in the grocery store in the morning, you're probably going to be faced with a line. Now, this afternoon, we haven't seen any. Those lines tend to dissipate as you get toward the afternoon hours. And along with that dissipation of the line also comes the dissipation of most things that are inside of the store. So it's quite a balancing act as grocery stores try to keep up with demand. It was about 2 weeks ago that San Diegans started bracing for the worst in the fight against coronavirus. Store shelves were wiped clean of essentials, throwing a massive wrench in the grocery supply chain. The largest companies say there is food in warehouses and they're working to truck it to stores. But that's created a new problem. Almost daily, San Diegans will line up hours before opening, and retailers only let a small number in at a time. Holly posted this picture of a Vons showing how the retailer put down line markers to help customers maintain social distancing. But it's not happening everywhere, and it's largely on the honor system. Tracy said she had to speak up at her Vons by asking people in line to move 6 feet apart, and they seemed glad someone said something. Amy actually ended up having a great conversation with a senior who is still getting used to social distancing. And Luca said there was no distancing happening at the store he visited. Generally, by late morning, most of the lines are gone, as are most in-demand items. This Vons was wiped clean of meat, milk, and eggs. One retailer with persistent lines is Costco. Megan gave kudos to the Carlsbad store, where employees enforced distancing and limited hoarding. We saw that at the Mission Valley Costco, where staff kept close count on how many people are inside. They also posted a sign of what's out of stock to avoid unnecessary queuing. Still, not everyone can physically stand in long lines. Albertsons, Barron's, Costco's, Jelson's, Jensen's, Northgate Market, and Target are among some of the retailers with special hours for seniors to help us all get through this together. Stores are asking the public to do their part and avoid overbuying or buying a month's worth of groceries. Instead, consider 1 or 2 weeks and save some for the next person. And while many of the large grocery chains are abiding by the law, there is still gouging happening. We are getting emails from viewers daily, so if you see gouging, go ahead and give us a text at 858-571-8888. Just text the word gouging and let us know what is happening. We want to help keep track of what's going on in your community. For now, thanks, Steve. We'll go ahead and send things back to you in the studio.
All right, Brandon, and I'll tell you a big thank you to everybody who works at a grocery store. You guys are doing an amazing job. The grocery stores, the big box stores. People are frustrated, and you guys are keeping your calm. And believe me, we appreciate it. Thank you.